Hey there, true believers. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly announced Hot Toys Spider-Man No Way Home Tom Holland Spider-Man figure. This is the new red and blue suit, the final swing suit. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm taking a look at these images off of Sideshow Collectibles, so big shout out to them for providing these images. Right off the bat, we're going to be taking a look at the standard version, just because I like those pictures more. But I will go to the deluxe just so we can see the base real quick. But here's the first image right here. We can see Spidey is looking pretty darn good. Really do like this suit. I only have one issue with it, and it's not even really a big issue. It's something that, it's just something that I've noticed that I think is a little bit inaccurate, but overall I'm not that worried about it. So here is the first picture of him swinging around, looking really good. I mean, this suit just looks, it just looks phenomenal. It's so simple without the double webbing and the black bands all over the place and this and that and the other. It's just the simple red and blue, but they've got some texture in the blue. You know, they've got some, well, it's mostly just the texture in the blue that kind of makes it a little less simple, but overall it's largely the comic book suit ripped right out of the, it's the classic suit ripped right off the comics. So I do like it a lot. It's looking really good, and they've done a lot of different things with this figure in terms of ingenuity to make it a lot more worth it. First up is, like, if you look at the ankle right here, you'll notice that the boot is looking really smooth in the ankle area. If you've seen some of the other Hot Toys Tom Holland figures, and you'll know that the boot kind of gets wrinkled up underneath there. The fabric gets right next to the ball joint, the fabric gets kind of like tucked up in there, and that's something that I've heard Justin's collection talk about a few different times that he's not the biggest fan of. And as far as I'm aware, they've only fixed that on the re-release of the Homecoming tech suit. So it's cool to see that it's not present on this one. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me if it's a little bit wrinkly, but when it's not, you got to admit that it looks really good. So I like that. That's the first thing that they've done here that I really like. Again, you can see here, here's just the figure looking really, really good. Definitely a phenomenal suit, and I hope they stick with it for the time being. Of course, if they go to the black suit for a little bit, that's cool, but I want them to stick with this suit. You know, if they change anything, I mean, maybe change the spiders. Not that I don't like them, but I would rather them change just the spiders in the entire suit. Here is the first look at the unmasked head. We're actually just going to move right over to this image right here. You can see that unmasked head is it's looking phenomenal. It looks just like him at the end of the movie. It's got a little bit of intensity in the eyebrows that I really, really like. It's not very emotionless, which some of the Tom Holland figures I think are just a little bit emotionless. This one's got a little bit of intensity to his face, which I really like. It's got that No Way Home haircut. In terms of the end of the movie, it looks really good. And of course, the biggest thing here is that it's got the break in the costume. The neck is removable, so you can have the cut in the costume where the neck shows up. That looks really, really good. A big fan of that. But this head sculpt is looking really, really good as well. And they've got the rolling eyes, the movable eyes in the mask, or in the head sculpt as well. Looking really, really good. Another thing that I noticed is these kind of little points up at the shoulders. In the images of the suit that I've seen, I don't recall that, but it's hard to say because, like I said, the boot looks a little bit inaccurate. The way that the boot points down, and this, I don't remember seeing this on those concept arts, those concept images that were released, or in the actual movie. Here's another shot of the head, again, looking really good. I really like the spider. It's a much more mature spider, but at the same time, it still has that kind of Tom Holland spider quality where the legs don't really connect to each other and they don't connect to the body, so I like that a lot. And here's a great image right here of the Spider-Man figure looking phenomenal, swinging. I gotta tell you right now, right off the bat, as soon as I get this figure, that Peter Parker head is not coming off of it. That Spider-Man head is never going to be on that figure. It just, that Peter Parker head is absolutely perfect. The break in the neck, everything about it is perfect. And I'm telling you right now, that Spider-Man head is never, the masked head is never going to be on it. It's going to be the Tom Holland head all day. It looks incredible. Here's another shot of it. Another close-up. It's just looking really, really good. A big fan of this suit, a big fan of this head sculpt. It's looking great. Hot Toys has impressed me once again. And again, here it is, the rolling eyeballs, mentioning that this head sculpt just looks so good. They did such a great job. I would love to see them do like an actual battle damaged head instead of just doing a normal head and then painting it to look battle damaged. I'd like to see a really distraught Peter Parker head with his hair all messed up. It's wet and nasty looking, and his face is just all messed up, similar to what we see in No Way Home. I would love to see them pull off a head sculpt like that, but they definitely knocked it out of the park with this one. I'm very, very pleased. And here's another shot of Spidey. And this is what I'm talking about right here. You can see that the boot points down, like the top of the boot. It follows the same pattern as the webs. And that doesn't seem accurate to me. From what I can tell, it looks like there might be a subtle point. If you screenshot the film and the final swing, it looks like there might be a subtle point. But it's definitely not curved like this, and it doesn't dip down that far. So I don't know why they decided to do that. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's something I noticed. It's actually the first thing I noticed. If you remember if you've seen the teaser image that they released where it was just him standing on the rooftop, that's literally the first thing I noticed. I was like, that's not accurate. And since it was kind of the first thing in my face, it left a bad taste in my mouth, but now that I've seen the rest of the figure, it's not that big of a deal. So here is everything you get with the standard version. You get that unmasked head. It's showing off some pictures of the suit, the web accessories, the standard base, the hands, and of course the loose mask. Everything here is looking really, really good. And you can see this figure standing straight up and down looks really good. I would have liked to have seen them try to incorporate a bigger physique, one that looks a little bit more like Tom Holland, having a little bit more of a developed physique, bigger thighs, more muscular shoulders, that sort of thing. It doesn't look bad, it looks really good. And if it's the same body as a Far From Home suit, then I know it's a good looking body. But I mean, Tom Holland has put a lot of work in his physique and what he looks like now compared to just Homecoming. He's definitely a lot bigger, and I do not think that he wears a muscle suit at all. Just by the way, especially in No Way Home, if you look at him, the way that he's breathing and the way that you kind of see his the scene where he is just before they take everybody to to Happy's apartment and they're still locked up in the cages. He just fought Doctor Strange. That scene right there, where the way he's breathing because he's out of breath, it definitely doesn't look like he's wearing a muscle suit to me. So I think that is all Tom Holland. Like Andrew Garfield and Tobey, they've always worn muscle suits, but I don't think Tom Holland has ever. And if he has, the technology behind it is very, very advanced because it doesn't look like it to me. Most of the time, you can tell if a character is wearing a muscle suit. Or if an actor is wearing a muscle suit. But anyway, moving on to the deluxe version real quick, just to take a look at this base. The deluxe definitely has a difference in price. Take a look at some of these images as well. You can see Spidey standing on the base right there, looking pretty darn good. Here he is sitting. Definitely, I'm going to pick up the deluxe myself just because it really encapsulates the tone and the feeling of the end of the movie. The end of the movie brings home the message. It's the most important part of the movie, in my opinion, because it really represents the character. You know, after everything has happened, after getting punched in the face 600 times and losing the ones that he loves and having to put in this big sacrifice and this and that, at the end of the day, he still jumps out that window. He still puts on that suit and he swings away to go save another person. And this really represents that. You know, him with this base, it really represents that moment, and that moment is very, very important in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to be getting the deluxe, even though it's a little bit pricey. But the things that they did with this figure, I'm very, very pleased with. It's a simple figure in terms of the amount of accessories that it comes with and this and that, but the ingenuity behind it, the break in the neck, the rolling of the head sculpt, the new head sculpt, the ankles looking really good. It's definitely, obviously, the entire suit. So they've really knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. So moving on to the actual base itself, so we need to look at that. Again, that head sculpt is crazy. So here's the base. You get the flight pole right here. The actual base with the snow on it, the bricks. Kind of little ladder action right here. It's giving me it's reminding me of the base that the Batman figure is going to come with, the deluxe version of that. It's kind of like I don't know why it's giving me those vibes, but it's kind of a smaller base, but you can kind of turn it around in different directions and get it to look a little bit differently, so that's cool. I do like this a lot. definitely, I'm going to put in my pre-order as soon as I'm done with this video. And here, again, here's everything that the deluxe comes with. Appears to be the same, just the base. So if you get the deluxe, I guess you just get the diorama. I don't know if you get the diorama and the regular base. Sometimes they do that, sometimes they don't. But of course, if you get the standard, it's just the regular base. So with all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and maybe hit that notification bell. It would be greatly appreciated. And of course, let me know what you think about this figure or any of the other Spider-Man figures that you've seen that are coming out or that have come out. Anything you want to let me know down in the comments related to this amazing character, let me know. And of course, until next time, true believers.